Hey, welcome to the Create a Life That Is Beautiful podcast. I'm your host, Leticia Ringe, and this is the space to be for high vibe people looking to create a beautiful life and business. Let's do this. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your coach, Leticia Ringe, and today we are talking about purpose and your romantic relationship. This episode is for those of you who are in a romantic relationship right now or not in a romantic relationship right now. We will be talking about how a sense of purpose, as in individual purpose, affects your relationships and how your relationship affects your sense of fulfillment in terms of your purpose. This is a really important episode. There's a lot to talk about, and you'll remember from episode 183, which is the first episode where I introduced the idea of a conscious romantic relationship. The very first three qualities that I mention of a conscious relationship are commitment to each party's growth, healing, purpose, and thriving. Relationship to self comes first, and sacred space to be witnessed and accepted as ourselves in this moment. I also mentioned that why a conscious relationship matters is that it is the very structure for a relationship that allows you the ability to be yourself more fully, allows you a thriving, beautiful life where you are on purpose, allows you meaningful connection and deep love, partnership and support, and your relationship becomes a mirror for greater awareness, healing, and transformation. In other words, a sense of individual purpose has everything to do with a conscious relationship, which is a successful and satisfying romantic relationship. In this episode, I'll be filling you in on what it means to be on purpose as an individual, i.e. to find your purpose, to feel a sense of purpose in your life, to answer the question, why am I here? I'll also be talking about why conflict in a romantic relationship that you're in right now might not actually be about your relationship with your partner, but actually about a lack of purpose within yourself. And finally, I'll be busting the myth that relationships get in the way of fulfilling your purpose. I'm super excited to dive into this topic because for those of you who might be more new to my work, purpose is actually the entire reason I got into coaching and running my own business in the first place. Before being a coach, which I began in 2017, I worked in the legal industry for 10 years. I was a lawyer, and most of those 10 years were within the area of family law. I ultimately left the legal industry because I did not feel like I was fulfilling my purpose in life. I felt this all the way through my 10-year career, and finally I took the leap in 2017 to pursue my actual purpose, which was to begin a business in personal development that would serve people to fulfill their purpose and live a life that is truly beautiful to you. That is how this podcast started. I began coaching people on finding their purpose that later evolved into supporting people who wanted to run a purpose-driven business to do just that. And then it's now evolved into the expression of my purpose today, which is to support people in creating conscious romantic relationships, which has everything to do with fulfilling your purpose. So I'm a great person to talk to about this topic. It also means there's so many different tangents we could go into today. I'm going to try and keep this as succinct as possible. However, I've got 10 points to get through, and I'm very happy to do that because this is such an important topic. And not only does it have everything to do with creating relationships that are successful and satisfying, it also has everything to do with you creating a life that is successful and satisfying to you. In fact, the topic of creating a successful and satisfying romantic relationship is so interlinked with your individual sense of purpose in the world that every single client I have supported in my conscious relationship coaching program so far has ended up focusing their attention on purpose and creating a sense of purpose, or their work life has become spotlighted in some way through our focus on romantic relationships. This has all been completely organic. There is a reason for this pattern, and that's why it's been so important for me to talk about this subject with you all today. On that note, if you're interested in working with me in coaching, in my private coaching program, which is called the Conscious Relationship Coaching Program, this is for you, whether you're deciding to leave a relationship right now, whether you're uncoupling, whether you're healing from heartbreak, whether you're dating, whether you're entering a new relationship, or whether you're elevating a current relationship that you're in right now. I work with singles and couples. You might be in a relationship and want to get the coaching support just for yourself, or you might want to get coaching support with your partner, or you might not be in a relationship and want coaching support, obviously, for yourself. We will focus on your romantic relationship life, and we will also focus on this sense of purpose. It is an inevitable part of the process. So if you're interested in private coaching with me, it's really important that you know from the 1st of September, my prices will be rising quite significantly as my packages are being restructured. And so if you want to get in before those changes happen, make sure you submit your application over at leticiaringe.com/coaching. And if you're listening to this after the 1st of September, still go ahead and apply, as the program is worth every penny. All right, let's dive into all the things you need to know about purpose and romantic relationships. Number 1, what is my purpose? Ultimately, your purpose is answering the question of why am I here? Feeling on purpose or having a sense of individual purpose in your life requires 2 things. The first, being who you are. The second, contributing, making a meaningful difference to the world, serving, using a combination of your unique gifts that you were literally born with and your interests. This could be expressed through work, it could be expressed through a business, it could be expressed through a project, through art, or some other way you share yourself with others / the world. It can also be expressed in multiple ways, and it will evolve throughout your life. This is what I call the expression of your purpose. So, what does it mean to be who you are? Our job throughout our life is to discover who we are as a person. This is an ongoing journey. It's one where we're deconditioning ourselves from everything we learned about who we should be, and instead we're learning who we actually are. Our sense of who we are as we go throughout our life gets deeper and deeper. We peel back the layers and discover a new aspect of ourselves that was always there, we just couldn't see it or understand it. The more you remove these layers, the more you allow yourself to be who you are, which obviously requires self-worth in order to be that, the more you feel like you're in alignment, the more you feel like you are being and existing in the way that you were meant to, because that's the way you were born to exist, literally. When it comes to expressing your purpose and the way you serve the world using your unique gifts combined with your interests, this means we look at what are those gifts you came into this world with that usually are showing up no matter what job you've had, no matter what education you've had, no matter what experiences in life you had. There are some gifts that you hold that show up in every single situation, and those gifts are what set you apart from others, and those are the gifts that it is your duty throughout this life to continue refining and sharing. When you combine that with what you're actually interested in, as in what you're passionate about, what causes
causes you care about, what the changes are that you'd like to see in the world, this is when you feel like you are purpose-driven. You are on a mission to make a meaningful difference and contribution to the world. You're on purpose because you're doing it in a way that is being you, that is sharing those gifts that you were literally born to share, and you are contributing to a cause that you actually care about. That, in a nutshell, is what is your purpose. And the way that that is ultimately shared and expressed will obviously be completely different to all of us. That's point number one. Point number two, your sense of purpose is a journey, not a destination. This is actually one of our conscious relationship principles. We're in it for the journey, not the destination. And it's true for your sense of purpose too. This means your understanding of yourself and the way you share your gifts will evolve. That journey is really your ultimate purpose and your life's work. So when we pick partners because we think that they'll support the expression of our purpose as it is right now, that's not the best way to pick a partner, because your purpose is going to evolve. There will be moments where you feel a lack of purpose, because that's ultimately what leads to the next evolution. And you want to choose partners who are there for you along the journey. That's a much better quality to pick in a partner, rather than them being linked to your current expression of the purpose right now. 3, feeling on purpose and that you are aligned with who you came here to be and how you're meant to serve is hugely rewarding, fulfilling, satisfying, and as a life coach, I can tell you it's key to personal development no matter who you are. It brings an enormous amount of energy to your relationship, inspiring one another, motivating one another, turning each other on. You bring energy to the relationship through fulfilling and being on that path of aligning with your purpose. 4, when you feel a lack of purpose, your relationship ecosystem will notice that lack of energy, and you may even become a drain on the relationship. That can show up in different ways. The first is it might look like you applying a lot of pressure on the relationship as a way to distract yourself from your own lack of individual purpose. This becomes a lot of pressure on your partner and the relationship, because suddenly your relationship and your partner becomes your everything. And whenever we do that, it usually doesn't end well. The second way it might be expressed is that you simply are just draining to be around. You might be sucking away the energy around you because you're showing up unmotivated, uninspired. You're not turning your partner or yourself on. And the other way it shows up is that you distract yourself through creating conflict in the relationship. So many people, when they're going through a period of transition within their work life or within their sense of purpose, will start to cause conflict within the relationship. This can look like day-to-day small arguments, or it could look like huge arguments where you're actually questioning whether you want to be with your partner. We do this because it gives you a sense of control in an area where you can have that control, because in another area of your life you feel a total lack of control. But the thing is, when you're going through a period of transition with your purpose, the only way to uncover the answer for yourself on what that next aligned step is that will be in support and fulfillment of your purpose is this. You have to self-reflect. You need to take space, and you need to allow yourself to be uncomfortable. And you can actually use your relationship as a mirror to help give you even more information, which means you lean into it. But instead, what we do is we self-sabotage. We instead use the relationship against us. So we don't lean into it. We don't use it as a mirror. We instead use it as a way to cause more conflict and create a distraction from what the real deeper issue actually is, which is actually your own lack of purpose. So I highly recommend for any of you who are going through relationship conflicts right now to also review Individually, both you and your partner, are we both feeling on purpose right now as individuals? If you're not, then that is the issue I would be looking at solving first before you look at pointing the finger at your relationship. 5, feeling a lack of purpose, as I just mentioned, throughout your relationship is inevitable at times because you'll feel on purpose and then you won't, in order for a new layer or expression of your purpose to be revealed. The only way to pivot at these times is to allow the discomfort and feel it, to step into the unknown, and to allow space for the clarity to arrive. As I also just mentioned, many people take this out on their partner instead of actually resolving the real issue, which needs self-reflection, space, and discomfort. This also happens outside of relationships too, where we use past partners or dating as a distraction from our purpose rather than as an exploration alongside dating or healing or whatever it is you're doing within the relationship cycle right now. 6, your partner can actually support you in making this transition because they give tons of information about yourself all the time. Your partner actually expands your perspective of yourself in a way that you simply will not access anywhere else. This means they can also expand your perspective of your sense of purpose too, showing you what your gifts are, showing you what it means to be really you, showing you what that next opportunity might be for you in order to express your purpose, showing you where you need to remove another layer of conditioning. You might look at what you're seeing from your partner about yourself, and that might be triggering because our mind's commitment to our old ways of being and our old identities can be so great, and it's so uncomfortable to let those go that when we see our partner, we see where we're changing and how we're changing and what we need to step into, that requires you to be uncomfortable for a while. And when you're feeling uncomfortable already because you know that a change is needed, and then you're picking up this information from your partner that confirms it, that's going to make you feel more uncomfortable, but you need to lean into that because the comfort is on the other side of that discomfort. However, what a lot of us do is says, I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel uncomfortable anymore. So we distract ourselves in other ways, which actually just makes your uncomfortable period of time even longer and greater. And for some of you, it means you'll end up not in a relationship anymore or building resentment between you and your partner and conflict and disconnection, which you'll then need to deal with on top of the lack of purpose and the pivot that you ultimately need to make. So my recommendation is that you lean in to what your partner is showing you about yourself and also to this period of transition that's needed within your sense of purpose. 7, too often in times of conflict, the real issue is actually an individual's lack of purpose. Relationship gets blamed instead of solving the real issue and using the relationship to support your purpose. 8, in fact, as the authors of the book Attached discovered, a relationship with a secure ecosystem, by the way, which is something that you can create no matter what your attachment style is, a relationship with a secure ecosystem and a sense of dependency actually increases your individual sense of independence and creativity in the world, i.e., your ability to go out in the world and pursue your purpose. But many people are sold the idea that they should wait until they know their purpose before entering into a committed long-term relationship. And I would argue that many men are sold this idea. Instead, simply meet a partner and focus on building a relationship with a partner who is committed to being on that path of being aligned with and on the journey of feeling that sense of purpose instead. 9, here are 3 books which all talk about the importance of purpose for men. So not only is purpose important for all of us, but for men, it's even more important. So if you're a man or you're in a relationship with a man, I highly recommend you forward this episode to them and do everything you can to support them with really focusing on finding that sense of purpose in their life right away, as it will support your relationship to thrive even more. And what men really, 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 really want and need is a partner who is showing their support for their purpose. But don't forget, your purpose is also important too. Here are the 3 books. David Data's book, The Way of the Superior Man. I'll just give a note on this book. If you're a woman who reads it, and I highly recommend that you do, it's very interesting from a female perspective, it can be very triggering. And just remember, you don't have to take everything that a person writes about or speaks about or talks about as an expert on any topic as true for you. You can take the bits that resonate and leave the rest. It's what I do with everything. Beyond Mars and Venus by John Gray, and From the Core by John Wineland. For those of you who want to learn more about masculine leadership and healthy masculine energy, and also how to work with your masculine and feminine energy as a man, I highly recommend John Wineland's book, From the Core. It's one of my favorite books, actually, and I recommend it to everyone. 10. Creating a satisfying and successful relationship must include and support both parties in the relationship's individual purpose. Nothing will make up for this. So there we go, my friends. Those are the 10 points I want you to know about purpose to really enroll you into the belief that focusing on your individual purpose and setting up a relationship that supports that path and journey for both of you is one of the most important things you and your partner can do. And for those of you who are not in a relationship right now, is one of the most important considerations you should make when you choose a partner to be in your next relationship with. And finally, I'll leave you all with 2 questions you can reflect on now to support you on purpose and creating an environment that supports your purpose within your romantic life and relationship. Question 1, how is my sense of individual purpose impacting my relationship and or my romantic life right now? Question number 2, how can we create an environment that supports our purpose? If you're not in a relationship right now, answer this question hypothetically, because this is a conversation that you will likely have with potential partners in the future. All right, my beautiful friends, so there you have it. Why purpose and your romantic relationship are so intrinsically linked, and how to have your purpose support your relationship and your relationship support your purpose. Once again, if you know you want private coaching to support your romantic life and romantic relationship as well as your purpose, I invite you to check out my conscious relationship coaching program at leticiaringe.com/coaching. Follow the links to apply, and I look forward to meeting you on a call so that we can talk about what coaching together in a completely bespoke and tailored program to you and your circumstances would look like. All right, my beautiful friends, I'll see you in our next episode. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to the Create a Life That Is Beautiful podcast. I'm your host, Leticia Ringe, and I appreciate you so much. If you would like support one-to-one as you up-level your life, business, or relationships in a conscious, intentional, and love-focused way, then head to leticiaringe.com/coaching. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.